And the sooner you do that, the reprogramming happens, and you will see a significant difference. That sort of clenching in your body when you feel anxiety or stress, you'll be able to live without that. You'll feel, because your body reacts to stress in this way. So when you become aware of the trigger at the moment, what you're doing is you're reprogramming your response, because you're not behaving in the same response as you did previously. You're changing your response and you're bringing peace and center back, period. You just keep practicing and you'll find that you can definitely achieve this. Again, a roadmap of understanding the technology of your consciousness and body. If that appeals to you, I highly recommend it. But it has been, again, just my own particular process of growth, which has allowed me to connect to many different levels of cosmic consciousness. If that's something that you're interested in, learning the roadmap to the system of how the bodies work is how it's done. So again, transforming, resolving emotional conflict. Commit and apply your will to serving your God purpose, and commit to a daily practice by living by the law of love, or the law of one. And if you just don't know what to do, if you just can't figure it out, be the will to good, the will to God, which means serve others. The more that you apply your life to service to others, I cannot even tell you, you will attract so much spiritual support, you won't believe it. So the more you impact the field, the more that you're of service, the more resonance of support comes to supply and support you. It's unbelievable. So when in doubt, just be of service. Now, this is getting into some of the higher levels, but this is starting to happen now. As we are coming into galactic consciousness, we're starting to open the higher chakras. Most people are in the systems that I've been talking about. Either the first triad of the ego, starting to come into the soul consciousness. The next level is the monad. And the monad is what connects us into the core of our universe. This is where we start to actually have an awareness of what the divine plan is. When we understand actually the seventh plane of our planet is the logos of our planet. What that means, it is the creational law of what is in the matrix at that time. When you start to actually access this level of intelligence in your own light field, you start to work with that energy, you will actually start to sense the movement of what's happening on the planet. And you won't be asking the question, is the coastline going to be flooded? Do I need to be here? Do I need to be there? You will understand that your God consciousness is in you, and when you hold that consciousness, you are going to be harmonizing the field and fully protected. Just be here now. You won't need to ask that question, because you will know you are exactly where you need to be. When we're in fear programs, when we're in autopilot, this is when unpleasant things happen. When we are connected to our God source, and we start to get the wing of listening to that, you will find yourself ushered to safety, protected in ways you can't even comprehend. It is all about the connection, I'm telling you. So, this level of consciousness, when this starts, is when, I'll be honest, this is when they came to me and they said, okay, what is it that you choose to do now? Do you choose to be of service, the path of earth service? Do you choose to go to the next level? And they gave me 2 weeks to think about it. They said, you know, if you want to go off and get married and have a bunch of kids, we'll love you, but you know, you made it to this level, so you might as well, think about it. And so, of course, they gave me 2 weeks to make a decision about something I had no idea what it was about. And I said, of course, yes, at the end of that 2 weeks. And this is when they started to bring the information about what was happening on the planet. Okay, so when you get to the planetary logos intelligence, you start to see the negative aliens. You start to see what's going on in the suppression of consciousness here. And you start to go, wow, I had no idea. Because if you would ask me 10 years ago if there was such thing as a negative alien or a negative force, I would have said, no, it's probably a part of the human mind, the ignorance of the human mind. All I can share with you is that indeed these beings exist. and this isn't about creating an us or them, but we need to be informed. We need to be aware that this is going on so that we can effectively deal with it from not a fear place, but from an awareness that what do we choose? Do we want to be controlled by some unseen force, or do we want to actually create a higher reality experience for ourselves and our families and our children and our race? This particular level of usurping our logos is not appropriate. Just because we're not using the 7th dimensional plane doesn't mean they should come in and take it, does it? I don't think so. So this is about human potential as well. Maximizing the human potential of what we are, what we've been created to be, and to allow that to be expressed fully. So when we start getting into the 7th, 8th, and 9th layer, our body goes from an ovoid aura to a toroid. We start to become a toroid-shaped aura, which means we then start accessing the Stargate system on this planet and the Stargates that lead into other dimensional spaces. So that's actually a reality of the technology of these bodies. It's hard to believe as we're sitting here, but I'm doing it, so it's happening. So again, when we reach this phase, this is when you start to become aware of planetary service. How can I assist in the larger consciousness field to be of service to God so that more people can feel the energies of God? And this is really at this level, you've come to a level of clearing enough of your fear and your programming. Who Lisa Renee was when she came in. I mean, if you saw what I used to look like, I'm proof of DNA change. I don't even look like the same person. I've definitely gone through a massive shifting. And we start to embody this level now, and again, each one of us has a destiny to do this, at any moment is able to do this. So I'm just explaining this level so that you can connect to it and be aware of it as well. This is definitely about embodying will to God and fully getting the ego and the personality needs out of the way. Now, the one they want me to talk to you about, now that we're seeing, okay, we've gone into the monad, there's a level that has been withheld from the planet that they want us to know about, and this is called the avatar intelligence. Now, originally, they have said that our bodies were designed to connect to the soul at age 12, to connect to the monad by like 22 or so, and to actually be an avatar by 33. That was the original divine design of these bodies, to actually be a full multidimensional being, having 12 dimensions of consciousness in a form and actually having a form. That was our divine design. And that's called the avatar consciousness. So what they suggest, and again for each one of you to just feel, because it's an offering, is that you connect to the avatar consciousness, and that consciousness has a frequency, it has a code, and it is a part of the crystal body that is the cosmic consciousness that is actually not a part of this planetary structure, and it's 12th dimensional. So as you connect to your 12th dimensional avatar, there is a frequency and color that is associated with this particular matrix, again, because this is a part of your higher chakra system that most people haven't been told or aware of. We're aware of 7 primary chakras. Nobody really told us about the ones that exist in the galactic planes, and this is the avatar matrix. So later tonight with James, I'm going to take us through that, if that's something that you feel aligned to, and I'll help you to connect to that. And also I have free tools and that technique on my website available to anyone if you feel aligned to that. But this is the solar logos, the solar Christ blueprint. It is the unity consciousness. For them, our original blueprint as a cosmic Christ was the synthesizing, unifying force. It's a unity consciousness field. And that field has a platinum frequency color. And all one needs to do is intend to connect to that level of your light body technology, and also to understand that this is how you connect to them. These beings exist outside of the 12th dimension. These beings exist in a unity field, and they are offering their support and their service to humanity in any way that supports the empowerment of humanity, in helping us to learn what our true origin is as a cosmic being. So again, when we connect to this field, it wakes up the cellular memory in the body, and the body goes, I remember that field, wait a minute. And it will start to recode the third dimensional birth agreement that we had that had a lot of karma, a lot of miasms, and a lot of ancestral clearing. So it's a way to help clear the body. It's the way to harmonize your space wherever you are. You become actually a harmonizing field in your house, wherever you go. What they basically had me do in an experiment is that you can actually avoid cataclysms with this field. So in one of my test runs with this, I was living in Malibu during the Malibu fires, and they had me spin a field. I spun the field, and all the houses around burnt down, but my house. And around the house was a big circle, and I went, wow, that field works pretty good. So I want to share this with you. We have the technology in our consciousness to absolutely change cataclysm, climatic shifts, anything that's in the 3D matrix that is based upon fear, control, or whatever it is. We have the power to do this in our God technology, and this is one particular level. Again, I just offer it as an experiment or case study. You could just work with it, because that's how I was. When this was happening, I just went, you know what, I can't absorb all this because it's overwhelming, but I'll just try it out in the spirit of research and science. Let's see, if I spin the field, let's see what happens. So that's what I offer you. Just experiment with it and see what happens. And that's the avatar matrix. And again, at this level, even though we're not there yet, but you know, we can act as if until we get there. It's fake it till we make it, right? The avatar is the energetic reality of unity. So that really is what the Christ consciousness is. So also when we understand that the extraterrestrial intelligences are us, this is pretty fascinating. When we understand that most of us are in the personality matrix, that these are different timelines. The first, second, and third dimension involve Earth and Venusian energies, and that these three dimensions is where those particular levels of intelligence exist in those dimensions. Now, when we start to go into our soul matrix and we hit the fourth chakra or the fourth plane of the Earth, we start connecting to, guess what? Nibiru. I think a lot of us know about Nibiru, and we know who the Anunnaki are. Isn't it interesting that they're in the fourth dimension? This is the race emotional body. And again, this is a part of us when we understand how did that control get there. Our friends, the Anunnaki, kind of forgot they were gatekeeping us. They decided, gee, they don't know what they're doing. Let's see if we can take the candy from the baby and use their resources. And that's kind of what happened. They have forgotten their God too. This is not about creating an us or them. It's just about understanding what's going on down here. So when you start to connect to the fourth dimension, you may actually, you'll get the attention of the Anu, and that's when they'll say, oh, somebody broke out of the frequency fence. I think we need to check on that one. So once we get into the fifth dimensional chakra body, the Pleiadian energies start coming through. So those of you that feel Pleiadian guides, feel Pleiadian energy, most of the time you're working with your throat chakra, you're working with divine will. You'll start to get Pleiadian energies all around you, or you'll feel this connection to the Pleiades because they are the fifth dimensional gatekeepers of our planet and universal structure, the Stargate structure. So again, our fifth dimensional self is connected to Pleiades. We are extraterrestrial in origin. What a concept. So our sixth dimensional chakra is Syrian. So that means our indigo children, our crystal children, the babies that came in, they came in through the sixth dimensional portal to try to help this planet move into a higher consciousness reality. The Syrian energies are the indigos. They are violet in color, their aura is generally violet or blue. And they came in, the Syrians hosted the indigo consciousness. They understood what was going on down here. They understood that many souls were reincarnating